Hi, good afternoon. I hope you're well. You join me this afternoon on the River Teme on the Birmingham Anglers Association ticket. The river's looking very good, a little bit low, but normal for summer. I'll be targeting Chub this afternoon, and all I've got with me is some bread, and I'm hoping to get a chub off the surface. There's a few signs of chub around, and I've managed to get a couple to take a bit of bread already, but if that doesn't work, I'll be trotting bread flakes. So yeah, looking forward to the afternoon. So I'll catch you shortly. Cheers. Okay, this is the first swim for the afternoon, and the river's looking quite good. It's been a bit of rain last couple of days, so it's come up a little bit, which is much needed. I do like fishing the Teme. It's certainly full of character. It's probably just a few hundred yards upstream. It's very shallow, and then downstream it's goes a little bit steadier. Access is always a little bit of an issue on the Teme, but yeah. So this is the first swim anyway. It's quite a steady run. It's probably only a couple of feet deep. You can pretty much see the bottom. Couple of chub over the far side. I've spotted taking a little bit of bread already. Nice overhanging tree, and then a relatively steady run down towards the end of the swim there with an overhanging tree. So yeah, it looks really good. I haven't been here for a good few months now. This is the first session of the season. I'll leave a link in the description of my previous session where I had some nice chub and barbel in the winter, but I'm going to carry on feeding some bread and see if we can't get a few chub moving around. There's chub there, just took that small bit on the far side. A bit difficult to see that. Make sure I don't fall in. Oh, there you go. Brilliant. It's a nice chub there, took that big bit of bread. You might not have been able to see it too clearly, but you might have been able to hear it. There's the other bit going as well. So I've probably been feeding these just for about 10 minutes or so. There you go, he's got it. So yeah, I've probably been feeding these probably about 10 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes. Oh, there you go, that was a nice fish. So the tactics will be quite simple this afternoon. I'll just be free lining some bread, £5 line. Oh, there he's got it as well. £5 line straight down to a size 6 barbless hook. Generally what will happen is they'll just, as I start casting and hopefully catch one, but they'll probably spook and move down the swim a little bit, and that's where I'll get the float out and do some trotting. So really the opportunity is probably in the first 20 minutes or so of casting out, so I'll put a few more pieces out. and then we'll get the rod set up. Oh, there you go. There's a chub coming straight up for it. There you go. Look at that. Yeah, took it second time. Yeah, and he took that bit of... Oh, no. Yes, he's taken that second bit as well. Very confident. As they will be until I stick my bait out, no doubt. There you go again. And again. Okay, I'll just run you through the gear I'm using, which is quite simple. I've got a Drennan 13-foot float rod with a MAP fixed ball reel, 5-pound line, Drennan float fish line with a size 6 barbless Camazan hook, and there's a few chub in the swim, which is good, and it's as simple as taking a nice big chunk of bread, like that, which will float nicely, and yeah, and hopefully one of those nice chub will come up and take it. So yeah, we'll give it a go. That's better. They'll love it, surely. So it's just running down nicely. Just down the middle of the river. It's probably needs to be a bit further out, to be fair. Oh, there's a few chub close by. Okay. Just getting used to the flow of the river. Nothing on that run. Sun's come out, which is slightly annoying. Do prefer it a little bit overcast when we're in such conditions, such a clear, low river. I'll have another run through, and if nothing happens I might just feed a few more pieces of bread. Just give it a little soak just to give it some weight. The sun's gone in briefly, thank you. Perfect, come on. you go. Oh, I missed him. Okay. So I don't think I spooked it, but yeah, fish certainly came up and took that. Let's try again. Fish downstream, I think, taking my bread. Okay, that's okay. Oh yeah, fish on there straight away. Oh, I missed it again. Fish on. So what happened then was I had a take on the large bit of bread, and I struck and missed it. Probably 70% of the bread came off the hook, but there was just a little bit left on, which I followed down the swim, and then all of a sudden I couldn't see it, struck and chub on. Oh, it's a nice one coming in on the edge. Oh, really? What is this fish doing? Look at that. A strange fight. So what was that, third or fourth cast maybe? Look at that, brilliant. Oh, great. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. That's great. It's quite a nice nice chub, that. It's got a warm day, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it rest there in the net. Didn't fight too much, but I'll let it rest in the net, and then I'll give it away and try and get a photo. Brilliant. Okay, that's 5.5 pound with the net. So I'll double check the net, but net's probably £1.5 probably, so it's over £4. Lovely fish. Okay, here she is. Lovely chub. Looking quite thick actually, for nice and healthy. Bit of an old warrior. A few scales missing. But yeah, lovely fish. Okay, let's get this fish back. It's had a good rest in the net. It's kicking nicely. But yeah, look at that. That is a cracker. Beautiful fish. Brilliant. Right, let's let it go. Off straight away, swimming strongly. Look at that. Brilliant. Well, that was good. Let's probably rest up the swim, and we'll try and get another one. There's one, and another. He's got it. Okay, so that's a good sign. Just had that fish. I've just checked the net, and It's a very heavy net actually, but anyway, that chub was just under £4, which is great, and I don't appear to have disturbed the chub too much. If anything, they've actually moved up to this spot, so they might have sort of come upstream. That's too far. They might have come upstream wondering where the bread was coming from. So I'll just take a few minutes just to oh, he's straight on it there, look. Not sure how well you can see this. I'll try and put a big bit out, see if you can see that go. Yeah, I'll feed them for a few more minutes and then I'll oh, there you go, there goes. Brilliant. Hopefully you saw that. I don't think they're huge fish. Generally the chub in the team don't go massive like they do, you know, on the Trent or the Severn, but they're really interesting fish, and I don't think they're fished for that often. There's one other angler here today who's after the barbel, which is a very popular fish, obviously from the team. But yeah, they still seem very confident, which is good. So I don't know if you can make out, but there's just three pieces of bread just running down there now. I'll try and zoom in on it. There they go. Furthest one's just gone. Furthest one downstream's just gone. Second piece has just gone. That's pretty much where I call that the strike zone. It's pretty much where I had the fish previous, and the third piece is just a little bit too far out over the other side. And that's gone as well. Very delicately taking that, which is good. Very confident. Right, let's give it another go. Hi, good afternoon. So that's 3 chub so far, which is great, and biggest one was just under £4. As is often the way on smaller, shallow rivers, the fish have spooked now, and they're not really taking the bread off the surface anymore. I've rested the swim for about 20 minutes or so. The odd ones coming up, but nothing really. So I've spooked them, as I say, as is often the way. So plan B comes into effect. Generally plan B is sort of move on and try and find some more fish, in particular just in case they've moved down to the next sort of swim. So that's one option, but before I do that, another option is to just trot some bread flake through. So they're obviously scared of coming up to the surface, so I'm just going to trot some bread flake through, just probably about a foot, well, it's not very deep here anyway, but probably about a foot or so below the surface, and see if that works. But they're still around, but yeah, just a change of tactics required. So I'm just going to sort out the gear, and I'll show you that shortly. Cheers. Okay, so this is plan B, same rod and reel setup, £5 line, and we're going to trot some bread flake down the river. So what we've got is a two swan Drennan loafer float. Some people call it a chubber float, and that's fixed in place by 3 rubbers, and then we've got a swan shot there, and that comes down to quite a simple shot-in pattern, 3 BBs just to keep that bread down, and then we're sticking with the size 6 barbless Camazan. So as I say, it's just a case of pinching on a piece of bread and trotting it down the river. I'll give it probably 10-20 minutes or so before we move on to the next spot. But this has worked for me in the past where they have got a bit spooked. There you go. Where they have got a bit spooked from taking it off the surface, is just to run through a piece of bread flake. I've also got some mashed bread, just to feed up the swim. I still think the fish are, it's a combination really. I think they've moved further downstream to that second overhanging tree. To be fair, there's been a couple of chub take some bread all the way down there, and so it's a combination of them moving downstream and I think just sort of edging into the snag. So we'll give this a go and see how we get on. There's a fish. Oh yes. Oh, that's a better fish, I think. Oh, I might have found a snag, but if it hasn't, that's a better fish. I'm gonna have to bullet this one. Oh, that's brilliant. Plan came together. So what was that, 3rd run down, I think? Maybe 4th. So it just shows they hadn't actually oh, hang on. They hadn't actually left the swim. They just I think just got spooked from taking bread off the surface. So this again, like the others, or a couple of the others, is coming randomly on the inside. That's a lovely fish. So I didn't put any feed out. I didn't put any mash bread. That was just simply just running through a piece of bread flake in the right spot. Oh, that's a nice fish. There you go. Chub number 4. I think that's the biggest one as well. Brilliant. Yes. Oh, that's great. Oh yeah, I think that's the biggest one so far. That's a lovely fish. Well, we'll give it a rest and then we'll get a picture. Alright, so the net's zeroed. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, just over £4. £4, £4 3 ounces. Lovely fish. Okay, there we go. Lovely summer chub. And looks very healthy for we're in July. Lovely chub. Some markings there from an old wound perhaps. But yeah, that's a lovely fish. £4 3 ounce. Right then, let's pop this back. It's ready to go. It's had a good rest. So I'm just going to lift the net under it. And there it goes. Brilliant. Hi, good afternoon. I hope you're well. I'm just wrapping up the session now. I finished off with 4 chub from the first spot, 3 off the surface and 1 on trotted bread flake. I did try 2 other spots with no success, although I did lose 1 decent chub from a second spot. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Some really good fishing to be had on the River Teme, and the Birmingham Anglers Association has got plenty of stretches of water. I spotted a few decent barbel pegs, I think, as I was walking around this afternoon. So I'll definitely be back and yeah, maybe give those barbel a go as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.